In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? In our media piece, we first decided that we wanted to produce a film that was different to any other. I had influences from big movies like The Omen, The Children and even Chucky, which all helped put many ideas together. I wanted to keep the mise-en-scene in our slasher film, so we did this by including The Last Girl, where she is vulnerable to the attack of another character. To include more mise-en-scene, I wanted to make the victim have a distinctive costume to connote death by wearing a pink, bright red coloured t-shirt, which I found very effective in the movie. The lighting was made a neutral light. This created a steady mood, possibly connoting something bad could happen. Originally, for the victim character in the film, we were going to use a male, but research showed this was not the ideal victim, and people preferred, in a stereotypical way, women to be the victim than the men. The interesting part of our film is the fact that the killer is a child. We decided to use a child during our movie research, and also the questionnaire we held. I instantly found that it would create a great sense of unease to the audience, which when filming we found out worked well instantly. How does your media product represent particular social groups? We firstly made sure that we used an actor or actress of a similar age to our target audience. This had to be between the ages of 16 and 24, therefore we decided to include my partner in the movie, who is 16 years old. This was so that the audience can relate to her and the situation she is in, and it makes it more interesting for them to watch. Our location was in a house, which is also relatable as people live in similar looking houses every day, which makes it seem eerie that it could possibly happen to them. It is very realistic in that case, which almost makes it seem more scary to the audience. The fact that we have a young child as the killer in our film adds a sense of surprise and is unique compared to other movies. Children are portrayed in everyday life as innocent people, but in this case issues a very opposite opinion on them as a whole. Another attraction to our film is the gory ending, where the main character dies and there is a knife with blood all over next to the body. This would attract a male group to our movie as they are seen as masculine people, therefore they would like to see blood and gore when watching a slasher movie. We also found from our questionnaire that most of the males that took it listed many different weapons and the best ways they would like to see the characters die in films, which clearly shows that adding blood and gore would attract the male population substantially. What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? I think that New Line Cinema would be a perfect media institution to distribute my media product. This is because they have a long-running history in distributing films of the slasher genre, including movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy vs Jason, Friday the 13th and many more. As you can see, they are all related to the same characters and part of a popular franchise. Freddy Krueger and Jason are both ultimate slasher characters, which retained many films distributed by New Line Cinema over the years. I think that this would be a beneficial distributor for our target audience as well, as they seem to distribute movies to aim at a young age as well, which will suit perfectly with our film. Who would be the audience for your media product? We decided from the questionnaire results and general interpretation that the target audience for our slasher film would be people between the ages of 16 and 25. This is because in this day and age, the main ages that go to the cinema to watch slasher movies or even horror seem to be a young audience that are attracted to them. From the results in our questionnaire, it also showed clearly that all the people we questioned that were ages between 16 and 25 all like slasher films in some way. Therefore, we found the target audience ages perfect for our film. From this perception, we decided to have the victim in our movie as a young teenage girl, purely because the audience can relate to her, which will most likely make our film more attractive to them. How did you address your audience? We attracted our audience by using different kinds of research to find out what they enjoy watching in slasher movies to help us put together our film. We carried out a questionnaire which involved a range of different questions to see what the audience likes about slasher films. We managed to gain a lot of information by doing this, as it helped us massively with the planning of our movie. The questionnaire involved questions including location of film, what type of killer, and what kinds of slasher films have they previously watched and enjoyed. From the information we gained, we put our ideas together and came up with having a child as the killer to create an uncomfortable feeling whilst watching the movie, along with adding a strong tension with it. The location was originally a forest or park area, as this is a place where children would most likely play, but we changed our minds when it came to filming purely because it was much more practical for the story we had in mind. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product? I have learnt many different things about technologies during the process of constructing our film, from simple things like how to control a camera and how to fix it onto the tripod, to editing on professional software and Apple Macintosh computers. Controlling the camera, to me, seemed a lot easier than it looked. It involves a lot of technicality, which you need to revise a fair amount before you start to use one. We had a few problems with shakiness of the camera, as we tried to experiment with different shot types, which made some of our positions fairly awkward, but which also worked out well after editing. I learnt many different things on the Macintosh computers we used to edit our film. This included using applications like iMovie HD and GarageBand, which at the beginning seemed very hard to use, but after using it on a daily basis, my knowledge and understanding was near to perfect on how to use them both well. Producing a monotone drone was easier than I expected, as we found a recorded sound already on the computer system on GarageBand, but changed it dramatically to our liking, which built the tension substantially in our movie and made it really effective. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? The main thing I've learnt is that making a film takes a huge amount of preparation and effort before actually putting it all together. We spent hours writing and formulating our movie until the point where we're happy to go ahead with the filming. There was one particular piece of work I did to prepare, which was the story for our film. As I was writing, I could clearly imagine and interpret what I wanted to convey to the audience, which I found really helpful to me. It involved two families going away together on holiday in the countryside and getting slowly picked off by Crimson, the killer in the film. The storyline included exposition, development, complication, climax and resolution. This helped outline what we wanted to achieve with our film and let me think properly about what to include in the movie, along with the different shot types and conventions to add in too. When I first started the preliminary task, I thought it would be a difficult task to complete, as we had to include a match-on action shot, a shot reaction shot and the 180-degree rule. But when we started planning, I found that if you prepare carefully beforehand, you can achieve pleasing results at the end when it comes to filming. This helped me substantially during the preparation for our film, as I had confidence in the fact that I could include a range of different shot types in a conventional way, which could make our movie look as good as possible.